Hey there, coders. Welcome back to another exciting episode in our Rust programming series. Today, we are diving deeper into the world of vectors. In Rust, we will explore an advanced approach to defining, modifying, and working with vectors. By the end of this video, you will have a clear understanding of how to declare, access, modify, sort, and even clear vectors dynamically. Let's get started. One overview of advanced approach. In this session, we are going to cover multiple aspects of vector in Rust. Our focus will be on declaring, accessing, and modifying vector elements dynamically, means taking input from user, finding the length of vector, sorting the vector, checking if the vector is empty or not, clearing the vector. We will take user input to populate the vector and perform all these operations step by step. Let's get started. First, import the IO module to take input. Use std IO. Now, taking vector length as input, we declare a mutable string named input to store user input. Let's create one mutable input variable. Let's create one mutable input variable to store input to store user input. Sorry. Now, next we prompt the user to enter the length of vector using the IOstd module. We read the input, trim any extra spaces, and parse it in usize type. This determines how many elements the vector will have. Let's get started. First, println enter the length of vector. Now start with IOstd in readline, and here expect. Please enter a number. Std in readline, mute input dot expect. Now let's create an empty vector. We initialize an empty vector v. Let's create first let mute v, vector named v of type capital vec of I32, means integer 32, vec not new, it with capacity, sorry, with capacity, and it will store here gth, length. Now let's create one length. Let length is equals to input dot trim, not unwrap, here dot expect. Please enter a, sorry, please enter a number. Here it is. V initializes an empty vector v using vec with capacity length. This pre-allocates memory for the specified number of elements, optimizing performance. Now in the next step, we will populate the vector using for loop. Let's start. For I in, sorry, 0 dot dot length. For I in length, input dot clear. First I will write whole code, then I will explain it to you. Println enter I plus 1, io std in mute input dot expect, please enter a number, and at last v dot push that number, that element. Not here. First I have to create let element is equals to input dot trim parse I32. Here I have to specify integer of 32-bit and input dot trim parse, please enter at last v dot push element. Here first, using a for loop, we iterate 0 to length. During each iteration we clear the input buffer, prompt the user for an input, enter the element, read the input from here and parse it in I32 type before pushing it to the vector, and at last we push that number in vector. Now print vector elements, println the vector, not this, the elements of vector are, and we use for loop to print vector. In this, after populating the vector, we print its element using another for loop. Here vi accesses each element by its index starting from 0 to the length -1. Let's check out the output. Unknown. Oh, sorry for that. Enter the length of vector. I want to create 5 length: 11, 22, 33, 44, and 55. And here it is: 11, 22, 33, 55. The elements of vector are 11, 22, 33, 44, 55. Now it's time to modify elements of vector. I'm modifying here, modifying. So if I want to modify the first element of vector with not 100, with 1000, and finally println modified vector r. Here it is, and this v, and let's see. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and modified vector are 1000. First it is 1, and after modification it is 1000. So modifying. After that, finding length of vector. We use the dot length method to find the and print the number of elements in the vector. Let's check out. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Length of vector is 5. After that, checking if a vector is empty or not. Empty vector, we can simply check it by using dot is empty method. Here it is. The dot is empty method returns true if the vector has no element. Since our vector has some element, it will print false. After that, sorting of element vector, v dot sort and print sorted vector. After that, clearing of vector, v dot clear, and println cleared vector. Now let's run the code and see the output. First, we will initialize the vector with 5 length. First element is 1, second element is 2, third element is 3, fourth element is 4, fifth element is 5. After modification, it is 1000, 2, 3, 4, 5. Length is 5. Since it is not empty, so it will print false. Sorted array, it prints sort in a sorted manner. After clearing, the vector is empty. So, in this video, we explored how to dynamically define, access, modify, sort, and clear vectors in Rust. Using user input and various vector methods, we showcased the power and flexibilities of Rust vector. That's all for this video. I will see you next one. Let's keep building and watching with Rust. Thank you.